Hi guys, my camera's on last percent of battery. I didn't know. Yes, I'm wearing Swoop's hoodie, if you're also a fan of Swoop. Anyway, so we're gonna do Degrassi Next Class Season 1. I only have one thing to say before we jump into it. The thing I have to say is that I know you guys know that I didn't do a Degrassi Next Class Season 2 when I was talking about the storylines. You guys all know, I told you my reasoning for that. I didn't feel comfortable covering it because I don't have any place to speak on that storyline. So if you guys still want me to do the characters for Season 2, I can. But if you guys still want to see a video on that, let me know. If you guys see jump cuts, it's because I am tired. I had to wake up early this morning for an appointment, so let's jump into it. Tiny. I love Tiny in Next Class. I honestly think that he is, like, honestly becoming who he is. Like, I know I say that a lot, but, like, he really is. Grace. I like Grace the first season. She's a really good friend to Zoe and a really good friend to Maya. I do lose a little bit of respect for Grace when the whole leading Zoe on thing happens, though. Winston. I love Winston. He's such a good friend. And, like, when he, likes Frankie again, it's so cute. Jonah. I have so many problems with Jonah. I'm not gonna sugarcoat. I have so many problems with Jonah. He just, like, irks me. I think he just has that personality that just kind of rubs me the wrong way. He's, like, cocky. That's what it is. Miles. Miles, he got a little better in season 14, and then he takes a nosedive. And I don't really fully blame Miles for it, but he's, like, I don't know. I still don't really know how to feel about Miles here. Maya. I like Maya. My only thing is, she's being way too nice to Zig. Honestly, like, she's being way too nice to him. Tristan. I can't really stand Tristan at all because he's trying to push Zoe to come out, and that's not cool. It's never cool to, like, push somebody to come out. Goldie. I like Goldie. We don't know much about her right now, but I like her. I think the feminist club protest was a bit much, and I don't think that should have happened. I think it was kind of stupid, honestly. But, I mean, like, the one about the washroom, I respected that one because I know what it's like to wait in long lines for the bathroom. But the video game, I think that was going a little far because it's literally a video game. Like, the point of it is to kill your enemies to win. I don't know. I play video games, so, you know, whatever. But I do like Goldie as a person. Zig. Zig is so fucking needy. Oh my god. He's pissing me off. Like, Zig is like, I need Maya all the time. And it's like, no, you don't. Like, stop. He's being like a whiny ass bitch and I hate it. I'm sorry, that was so mean, but, like, I really do. Zoe. I liked Zoe at the beginning of the season until what she did with Zig. That was not good. But I do feel bad for Zoe with the Grace thing, especially that. Esme. I can't stand Esme. I don't know about anybody else. I can't stand Esme. She reminds me of a friend that I used to have, and watch the Media Maya video. Media Maya was exactly like Esme in our friendship. So, you know, Esme kind of, it's hard for me to watch her a little bit. Yael. I think it's Yael. Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, Yael. She's just there kind of this season. She does participate with Hunter. And I do agree of her kind of at the dance being rude to Hunter because, you know, he put her in a bad position. I mean, they all agreed to do it, yes, but he was the ringleader, so, like, you know. And of course, Hunter was going through stuff. We'll get to that. Frankie. I wanted to like Frankie. I will say that. I wanted to like her, but that whole her and Jonah thing that was happening, I mean, more on the relationships, but that whole her and Jonah thing happening was so stupid. Like, I also just don't think they're well suited, but oh my god, that was Their banter's great, but it was just unnecessary, and I feel like they were just trying to give Frankie a storyline. Like, it wasn't well thought out. That's all I'm going to say. Hunter. Hunter is obviously going through it. We get to see more about Hunter, which I like. He's obviously going through it, and I feel like I've always said this. I feel bad for Hunter because I feel like everybody just kind of overlooks him and nobody really like actually cares about him except Miles. And that's something I really like about Miles, that he sticks by Hunter and tries to, you know, get him help and stuff. And so Miles is a good brother for that. But yeah, Hunter is going through it. That's all I can really say. VJ. Again, I wanted to like VJ, but VJ kind of infuriates the hell out of me because he reminds me of older Tristan, and I liked older Tristan, but he kind of turns into a little bit of season 13 Tristan a little bit, and I can't stand that Tristan, so. Boz. Okay, here's the thing about Boz. He doesn't annoy me this season, at least. And he's a good friend, especially when Hunter pushes Yael and he yells at Hunter to leave. He's a good friend. When we get farther down the line, I'll share more of my feelings on Boz. Lola. I liked Lola to an extent. I liked her until she started dating Tiny, because you obviously know your best friend likes him. Why would you do that? Shay. I feel so bad for Shay, but at the same time, I agree with what Frankie said, where it's like, you liked him, you should have said you had a problem with it, whatever. But I also feel bad for Shay because she's expected to be perfect in everything she does. Mr. Simpson. Still a great principal. There's a moment where he's in the principal's office with Miles and his mom, and it's really funny. Mr. H. Still a piece of shit. Like, yeah, okay, he's taking anger management classes, but what? Mrs. H. In this season, she's a bitch. It's like, don't bring him back. And it's like, well, is there anything I can do? And she's like, not if you care about this family. And it's like, bitch, your son is struggling. Like, he's struggling to tell you that he can't be around his dad. Like, how can you not see that? How can you not? Mrs. Rivas. She's awful. Like, Consuela, she's just awful. I'm sorry. Her first name always makes me laugh. Mrs. Matlin. A+ mother still. Miss Cardinal. A+. Love her. Shay's parents, the Powers. The dad's really funny. And the mom is really caring. Like, you could tell what she says. She's coming from a caring place. And I really like the cadence of her mom's voice. Mr. Perino, still A+. Mr. Armstrong, still A+. Miss Grell, A+. Miss Badger, who's the science teacher, she seems really funny. Mr. Mitchell, A+. And Miss Lynn is the Mandarin teacher, and she seems A+ as well. A little strict, but that's fine. Okay, so here are the notes, and we're going to try to do this before the camera dies. I liked the opening of the season. Poor Frankie giving the tour, and of course she catches Zig and Maya making out. Tiny and Shay's interactions are cute. Stop saying butts. That was a funny Frankie line. Zig is too needy, honestly. Again, I will say Maya should have asked Zig to play guitar. Zoe is a good assistant for Tristan. At least Zoe wants to help Tristan, you know. Maya's first song was not that great. Since when do you play guitar, Grace? Since forever, Zig. He does, though, and I'll always have a problem with the way they made him say that line, like he never does. Zoe has a good point for the Tristan pep talk. Shay should not care what Lola said about the butt, you know, the butt combo. At least Tristan asked about issues the younger classes care about. Miles knows how to throw a party. I think Tiny asked Shay to be his partner because he likes her. It was nice of Grace to still be friends with Zoe. Maya talking to Grace was good about her dream. But her saying Zig is bad, then wanting to put him in the band later is stupid. Grace. She's like, you can put him in the band even though he sucks, but then she wants to put him in the band later. Tristan should not just assume Miles is out to get him. Zoe was right to give Tristan the reality check about the debate. At least Lola and Frankie tried to help Shay. Don't just assume Tiny has seen a pic, Shay. Poor Shay has to keep getting up The teacher was so sweet to help Shay. Goldie was right to go back to the actual debate. Poor Goldie does not remember the question. It doesn't make you good at guitar. That's what Maya said. I seriously want to slap everyone that mentions Zig in guitar. Jonah's comment was unnecessary. Are you guys going to get a room or can we practice? That was unnecessary. Goldie was right to be upset about the election. Tiny coming to check on Shay was cute. Tristan seems like he would be a good president. Miles never made good on the promise to destroy Tristan. Mr. Mitchell is a good teacher. I feel bad for Miles seeing his mom getting it on. I'm glad Miss Grell is still an important character. Tristan needs to let Zoe figure it out herself, her sexuality. Frankie's hair could have looked good if she went about it a different way. Miles and Winston's conversation about what he saw his mom doing was funny. I love Grace and Zoe's friendship. I love Miles almost spitting out his water. What is it with Degrassi and family dinners? What I mean by that is almost every character says, I just want a family dinner. I'm like, okay. At least Zoe tries to talk to Grace. It was rude for Grace to peek out and still not say anything to Zoe of the window at her house. Frankie's friends should have tried to talk, not make a fake account. At least Zoe cares enough about Grace to take her home. Frankie had every right to be mad. Simpson being uncomfortable by Miles and his mom's convo is funny. Poor Frankie just needs to talk to someone. Jonah was a little harsh. Grace's mom told Zoe in such a sweet way. After Miles gave his speech in class, the guy behind him applauds, and that's funny, especially because of the guy who gave him a look. You guys are sleeping on the extras talent. Zoe and Grace's talk was amazingly done on the roof. At least Frankie went to talk to her friends. I love seeing the presentations. Zig's face when Grace says her money's on Zig to be in prison was funny. He was so disgusted. I feel so bad for Miles when he hears about his dad. Poor VJ, the basketball. Do not laugh at Hunter for shooting on the wrong net. Tiny talking to Zig is good and funny. I agree that Jonah touching Maya was not necessary. Esme could have stayed out of Miles and Winston's combo. Zig and Tiny in the restaurant is my favorite. The one where it's like, we're in a restaurant, man. People can hear us. Miles talking to his mom about his dad was good, but she missed the point when he tells her he can't breathe. Zig should have asked Maya, so Maya was right to hit him. Hunter was good to take his concern to be president because that's what you do. To the president because that's what you do. I'm about to be a serial killer. Me too, Grace. Breaking the finger was not the way to go, Hunter. At least Zig was prepared. Maya's mom was right to have the sex conversation with Zig and Maya. Miles going in his dad's stuff was not worth it. Maya and Zig having a talk was good. It was nice for Tristan to approve Gamer Club. Winston and Miles' combo about Esme was funny. Esme giving him pills will not help Miles. Grace, be excited you got a show. Maya's mom should have let Maya play. She has a bunch of people there for her. Tiny and Shay's banter is cute. Poor Shay, she should just be able to date Tiny. Winston and Tristan give me such secondhand embarrassment. Oh, VJ and Tristan give me such secondhand embarrassment. I'm sorry, it looked like Winston's VJ. Maya's got to take a few breaths when the guy called her Blondie. Shay's parents are great. The dad mentioning sex was funny because he did not want to say that word, Shay's dad. They played my favorite song, Black and White. I like Maya going girl power, but that was going to backtrack. You can eat Grace's muffin later. That was funny. Grace has a point, yes, but Zoe had a really good point about playing nice in the industry. Shay should have told Tiny the truth. Miles and Esme kissing and saying a sibling relationship was creepy and gross. Maya was overreacting majorly, and I get she's a teenager, but still. Mrs. Matlin's still an A-plus mother. VJ breaking up with Tristan was funny to me. I love how the women rock out to Not Okay. Lola is a horrible friend for going after Tiny. I love how clueless Lola is when Maya teases her. Miles seems to be fine, but he's struggling. Lola's wig looks like Yael's wig. I sit next to you in math. Shay, that was a funny line. Winston always has to sound the alarm, poor boy. Zig's combo and Tiny with Grace was funny at the table at the dot. I feel bad for Miles at the interview. Lola's doctor is funny. She also helps Lola a lot. I love Goldie. Goldie making Maya realize she's a feminist was fun. Stealing other people's meds is wrong, Miles. At least the teacher feels sorry after having Lola say out loud what she's reading. At least Mrs. H realized something was wrong. At least Frankie was there to console Lola. At least Miles still got published. Winston is right to sound the alarm. Their next protest is a very stupid one. At least Hunter is trying to make them get new equipment. Consuela is so pissy and a horrible mother. Frankie should not let Jonah get to her like she does. At least Hunter tries to make a deal for no computers. Frankie talking for new computers. I'm sorry. Frankie talking to Tristan was good to talk to until he kind of forced her to come out again. Grace helping Zoe with the dad plan was great. At least Hunter tried to raise money some way. If Frankie wanted to help people, she should not have been... Oh, if Frankie wanted to help people, she should have not been able to change her mind. Zoe and Grace going around the actors' trailer is funny. The meeting for the feminist and gamer club is so stupid. At least the actor gave Zoe advice about her mom. Okay, about the meeting thing. I don't think the meeting content was stupid. I just think the reason why there was a meeting was stupid. Obviously what Hunter did was so horrible during that meeting, and I don't condone that. At least the actor gave Zoe advice about her mom. Frankie being upset about Winston was different. Frankie being upset about Winston was different, Shay. I hate how Grace leads Zoe on. At least Winston offered to help Frankie. Hunter had good ideas to try to fix things. Then Hunter takes it too far, like he does. Jonah totally misses the jealousy in Zig's voice. Miles should be more careful with himself. Where are Miles's pants? At least Grace is being sweet, but still. Jonah is a good friend to Maya. Esme giving Miles drugs is a bad idea. Zig crushing a girl date was fun. Zoe and Grace's. Esme should be helping Miles, not making it worse. Grace's mom is really good. Grace should not have had sex with Zoe to lead her on. Poor Miles needs to take care of himself. Grace leading Zoe on was shitty. Miles giving his mom the reality check was good. Mr. Jax talked to them like music producers sometimes do. The music producer guy. Zig and Zoe are good friends, but she ruins that with what she does. Zoe should not have hooked up with Zig to get back at Grace, because what about Maya? Esme, the psychobabble, is my major, so it pisses me off when she says stuff like that. The random dude Tristan hooks up with makes me so uncomfortable. Zoe's baked ziti comment makes me laugh. Tell me cyber... Oh, okay. So, Maya's storyline hits me hard because I had a cyberbullying experience a lot like that. Not so much when I was in high school, but now. There's something going on currently. If you haven't heard, apparently I'm dead. It's a really long rabbit hole and I can't really go into detail, but I can tell you I know exactly how she feels. The only thing that hasn't happened to me is the swatting. That's the only thing. So thank God. It was nice for Winston to check on Frankie. Zoe helping Tristan is funny, but don't use Dr. Google. Grace was good for telling her later. Telling Maya later. Grace was good to tell Maya they doxed her. Lola making a list about Winston was funny. Police really cannot do something until a threat becomes physical, and that's stupid. Zoe showing Tristan that anonymous site will not always help. Maya to go home was right. VJ yelling at Tristan is where it backfires, the anonymous thing. At least Zig helped Maya still speak at the assembly. The peanut butter example, I think, then confused Shay instead of helped her, so sadly she could not help Frankie. Maya's speech really hit me because it reminded me of what I am still going through now. Swatting is illegal, so that's only going to hurt the person who did it. Hunter's voice coming out of Jonah's mouth was funny, where it's like, wake up, dummy. The therapist gives Miles good advice. Grace sitting with Maya was sweet. At least Miles tries to make a change. Hi guys. Please ignore my face. I'm here to finish where the video cut off. Please ignore my face, guys. I got some really bad news. And we're going to talk about Degrassi because I don't want to talk about it. And so we're just going to finish talking about Degrassi next class, season 1. I'm really trying not to cry, you guys. Okay. We're going to finish talking about Degrassi next class, season 1. This might go really quick because I do feel like crying. So I'll just go through the rest of it. So just ignore my red face and I'll try to speak clearly. At least Miles tries to make a change in his life. Zig coming clean to Tidy was good because Tidy told him that hooking up with Zoe was gross. Esme faking a unaliving attempt was wrong. Frankie put her foot in her mouth when she said Jonah didn't taste like a smoker. Poor Mr. Armstrong, he always had to break up fights. I hate Jonah when he acts cocky. Frankie had a point to tell Jonah he should have talked to her after kissing her. When Esme faked an unaliving attempt, we should have gone to Miss Grell. Grace was right to tell Zig to tell Maya the truth. Zig telling Maya the truth was right, even if it was bad for her to hear because it was bad. Maya had every right to be mad at Zig. Hunter looking at Yael is super cute when they're taking the final before the winter. Sorry guys, I'm stuffed up. Why is Lola so pushy about Frankie and Winston? At least Miles says goodbye and sorry to Tristan. Simpson having Maya talk was a good idea. Having Maya talk. Oh, when they were getting them in trouble in the office. Okay, I was confused. Simpson gives Boz a look like, of course your parents have to know, after Boz says, any chance we can keep this from our parents. Winston buying Frankie a necklace was cute. Maya getting mad at Grace for not telling her is one thing, but telling her not to play with them was a bit much. Especially when Winston said... Okay, so there was a conversation that I found funny. When Mrs. H and Hunter are talking, I don't find the conversation that she's taking all his stuff away funny, but I found one part funny when it was like, for you harassed that poor girl online, and Winston said with his mouth full of ice cream, you're Maya's troll. That's the part I found funny, is Winston just kind of butting in. VJ just wants to take the picture of Shay, Lola, and Frankie. Lola and Shay should have had the in-depth talk about Tiny before. The poor Yael seems scared of Hunter for good reason now. It was good for Maya and Zoe to talk. At least Lola and Shay and Frankie got to talk. VJ is scared to death when the girls moved to hug during the lockdown. Tristan was right to say Zygmunt, so to get Zig to stop saying things to Hunter. Zig, calling him a psycho. How did that work the first time? If we remember, he called Cam a psycho, and let's see how that worked. Miles was good to call the lockdown. Jonah was playing games, and you were too, Frankie, even though they were not trying to. Like, even if you weren't trying to, you guys were still playing games with each other. Anyway, so I'm going to get to a blank page so that, you know... Again, a couple things to say to end this video. Number one, the Jonas Brothers will also be coming out today, like I told you. And two more things. So, I told you guys I was going on a trip to a festival on the beach near where I live. That's not happening anymore because the festival's still happening, but we just couldn't figure out a plan. So we're not going, which doesn't really upset me because I've been really tired and run down this week. So I prefer staying at home to sleep. And I haven't been doing well emotionally either. I've been faking it with you guys, and I hate faking when I'm not okay, because I do it pretty much every day of my life. And yes, I am going to, you know, talk to somebody, and I'm getting that, you know, I just need to call, and I have phone anxiety, and I also had 2 exams these past 2 weeks, so I didn't have time to call because I was studying for the exams, but now this next week I have time to call and actually set it up. So wish me luck on that. Do I have any other announcements? Oh, one last thing. You guys know that I didn't do a Next Class Season 2 when I was dealing with the storylines, because that storyline was not something I could speak on, and it goes throughout the whole season too. Let me know if you want me to do an in-depth of what I think about the characters season 2, but I won't have the notes like we just did. I won't be watching the season, but I'll let you know what I think of the characters, because that season particularly sticks out in my head. And I will still be doing Next Class Season 3 and Next Class Season 4 the normal way, where I watch it and then I let you guys know what I think specifically of the characters in each episode. I feel like doing it that way just gives you a more comprehensive of what I actually think about the characters, of what they're specifically doing in that moment, in that episode, what their decisions are. And as you guys know, we're getting towards the end of my opinion on the characters, and then we go into my opinion on the Degrassi Junior High and Degrassi High characters, and then we go into the couples, and then we are done Degrassi. Unless you guys can think of any other videos of Degrassi, but I think after we do the characters and the relationships and we already did the storylines, we've pretty much talked Degrassi to death, don't you think? And you guys know how we're doing the relationships. We're splitting them up into chunks. So, you know, the couples are going to be a lot quicker, a lot easier, only because I'm just talking about the couples, not specific well, I will talk about specific instances, but I'll talk about overall if I think they were good or not, how they complement each other, yada yada. So that's just giving you a preview of what the couples episode will look like. Yeah, guys, again, just ignore my voice, my face. I know I sound like I have bees up my nose. I know I sound like I've been crying for 10 decades. I know, and you probably see my tear-stained sleeves for actually Swoop's new hoodie. I love Swoop. Yeah, guys, it's just I've just been going through it, and I don't want to hide that from you at all. Like, I want to be completely honest and transparent that it's okay not to be okay. And it's okay to reach out for help. Please, if any of you are struggling, please reach out for help. It's okay to not be okay. And it's okay to ask for help. I am horrible at asking for anything. I hate to ask people for a ride home or a ride to places. I literally hate to ask my parent even for help. Like, I hate to ask people for help. So, like, I know I hate to ask my partner for help. I hate to ask my sister for help. I hate to ask my friends for help. Like, I literally hate to ask people for help, but sometimes it gets to a point where you can't do something on your own, and that's okay. Nobody is supposed to know everything. My professor last semester taught me you can't ever know everything. And, you know, I think he's right. You could know a lot, but you would never know everything. And, you know, I think it's just, I'm going through a hard time right now, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and I just got to keep reminding myself of that. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, and, I'll hopefully be a lot happier the next time I see you guys. I'll be happier in the Jonas Brother video, so if you want to go see a happy me, go watch the Jonas Brothers. Because who doesn't love the Jonas Brothers? Anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.